Hello and welcome back to our Rag Bhimpalasi Sitar Lesson Series. I'm Will Marsh. We're in the key of D. And we've covered a lot in this series. And in this class, lesson 31, I want to kind of review the material we've gone over and suggest how to best utilize it since we've gone over so much. And as a sitar player, I recommend thinking of your practice in two main categories. One is your daily riyaz, meaning what you do every day, even if you only have a half hour to sit with your instrument. And then another is your composition work. This is the new pieces that you're learning, the repertoire, and different aspects of the music that you're practicing. So let's start off with the daily riyaz. And I just love the term riyaz. It's really like the lifeblood of this music is that devotion to sitting with the instrument every day and putting your time and energy and focus into it. And, you know, all Hindustani musicians have adopted this as a practice and a way of life. And it's also good to be realistic in this modern world. Many of us have busy lives, and I want to emphasize that it's very good to think about how you're spending your riyaz time, whether it's an hour a day or 20 minutes a day. And so I want to suggest some ways of thinking about that daily practice, daily riyaz, based on this series. And the things that are most supportive for the daily riyaz are the things that are really moving your hand and grounding your technique in the instrument, because this is the foundation of playing. You'll always be learning new rags, new material, but if you're consistently playing your foundations, your scales, your bending, your bowls, you'll always be growing and gaining more command of the instrument. So one of the first things that I love about this lesson series that we did was the murchana. Murchana is the octave pattern, and if you can sit down and play this every day when you start your practice, it'll go a long way. So let's review the murchana. We start on the low sa and build an octave from here to here. Sa, sa. So in Bhimpalasi, sa ga ma pa ni sa sa ni ga pa ma ga. Next is ga ma pa ni sa. Next is ma. Pa. Ni. And then back. Murchana, this is a great one to do every day as a part of your daily riyaz. The next one is the full sapat, meaning we're going from our lowest note to our highest, straight up and down. So try this with me. 1, 2, 3, 4. Sa, ga, ma, pa, ni, sa. Again. And now as you're practicing these things daily, monitor your speed. You can play it with the tabla. Both of these will fit into teen tall, and kind of see where your tempo is and see if you can boost it up week by week, and kind of monitor your growth in these exercises. So we have the Murchana, the Sapat, and then lastly the Chellan is always a great thing to practice because the Chellans are the most kind of encapsulated bit of the rag with the means. And so with our Chellan, we did that on lessons 6 to 8 in this series. So go back and revisit that, but that covers a lot of the more of the means. So working on this Chellan daily is also a wonderful way to incorporate the mean and the slower parts of the rag. So here are my thoughts on your daily riyaz, practicing Murchana, Sapat, Chellan. And the second part that I talked about is what I call composition or repertoire work. And so we did a lot in this course. We have several compositions. We have the Vilambit Gut in teen tall. It's a great one to practice. We have the Khayal Mandirava. We also have a Drut Gut. We have a Gut in Jap tall. And we have the Jala. And all of these are considered performance elements. Also the Alap, the full Alap is considered a performance element. So with the remaining time in your riyaz, I would recommend picking one of these pieces and fine-tuning it, getting it precise, getting it really clear and polished. And especially things like Vilambit Guts, you're going to run across these in many more rags. So the more that you can understand and be confident with a Vilambit Gut in a given rag, say Bhimpalasi, the better off for your long-term growth. Same thing with Jalas and Alaps. So that's my really recommendation, to think about how you can use your time best as a sitar player, the things that will keep your technique and your hands moving, and the things that will keep your repertoire growing. And I really encourage with this music to spend a lot of time on things, memorize them. It can be sometimes a tendency to want to just jump into the next thing and get new material. But I feel that the longer you spend on clarifying and going deep into a rag, the better off it will serve you in the long run. Okay, so that's my spiel on practice. Now we'll move on and share how I recommend using the material in this series for a performance, if you have that opportunity to perform. And so let's arrange what we've learned for that type of performance. And first, I'll think of performances in a longer one. Say you have a half hour to 45 minutes. Time isn't really an issue. That's one type of performance. And then let's say you have 10 or 15 minutes. That's another. So let's start with the longer performance. What I would recommend doing is working on the alap. Alap is a difficult piece to master depending on where you're at with your means. And that's how I would start your piece, with the alap. Another option, instead of doing the full alap, is to do something like the Chellan that we've done in lessons 6 to 8, taking some of these main phrases. Even just taking the first part of the Chellan would be enough to kind of show that alap mood, if that's in your time constraint or what you're able to memorize and play confidently. So that's your alap, either a bit of the Chellan or the full alap that we did in this course. Next, if you have time, playing the Vilambit Gut is an awesome thing to do. It's really nice to bring the rhythm in at a slow tempo. So going into this Vilambit Gut, playing some of the variations that we did in the full composition. Next, what you can do is you can do the Mandirava Kayal. Playing this full piece, and you can use the tons that we did with the Jutgat with this Mandirava, and this will be your third item. And the way to finish your composition would be with the Jala section. And then this Jala goes all the way to an ending T high for you. So that can conclude a full long performance. Notice that we're going from slow to gradually speeding it up. The alap, the vilambit gut, the medium or drut, and then the jala with the ending T high. And now to play a shorter piece, you can do a few phrases of the chalan as your alap. And then you could choose to say, maybe I want to play just the japtal composition and finish after that. Or you could choose one composition such as the Mandirava Kayal or the Drutgat. So for the short, yeah, just one composition. It could be probably not the Vilambit that tends to want to be followed by something more upbeat. So I recommend the Japtal or the faster Teental guts, and then just ending there. So I felt it was important to share some thoughts on all this material and how to utilize it. I hope this has been helpful. If you are really looking at wanting to craft a performance with this material, it would be great too to work together in person to kind of hear how it's going, and I can help bridge the transitions from each section. So that would be much better to do in a personal session. You can reach out to me if you're curious about doing something. I offer these online via Zoom. And in the meantime, thanks so much for tuning into this Bhimpalasi series. It's really been fun sharing detail of this rag, and I hope that you're able to utilize and practice this material. So thanks again. Friendly reminder to please do like and subscribe. It will keep you notified as new classes are released. And feel free to reach out to me with any questions about lessons or the instruments I play in this class. So thanks again. Happy practicing.